Friends, welcome back to The Real Dad Show. I am your host, Rocco DeLeo. This is episode number, let me look up at my whiteboard right there, episode number 69. And I've been known to get that wrong before, so it doesn't really matter. Episode number 69. Friends, when the feeling of God is missing, does that mean that God has abandoned me? Do any of you have that feeling? That feeling where God is distant? There's just no warm and fuzzy. There's nothing going on there. What's that all about? So I want to talk to you about that today, and this really spawned from a conversation I had with my friend Matt Cochran, and I want to just give him I just want to give him and his fiance Sarah a big shout out, and a cough, a big shout out. They're getting married soon. I don't know the exact date, but it was like 25 days from a couple of days ago, and then I'm not exactly sure when this is going to come out. So this may be like right around when they're getting married. So that is so cool. Just two cool people. So check out Matt's stuff at the MJC podcast. I think it's on a little hiatus, so it'll give you a chance to get caught up on some of his pretty cool stuff. So we got a lot going on here at Casa de Leo, and then I'm going to get into the main topic. I've got two articles I'm going to talk about, and then my main topic, if you care to hear what I have to say. But listen, friends, it's autumn. It is autumn, or as we like to say here in California, fall or autumn. I don't know, whatever. It's that, the season when it's not 9,000 degrees, and, it's going to be like 80 degrees most days. So that's nice, except it's 100 degrees outside today. But this is the fall season, or autumn, as we like to call it, is my favorite time of year. Not just because I look fabulous in brown. I mean, I do. Earth tones really bring out my eyes. But I just love the whole togetherness and just having a good time with the kids. I'm getting a text message here. Does anybody know that I'm recording a podcast here? This is how we do it. This is the Real Dad Show live, and I've got 4,000 devices here. I haven't put anything on airplane mode here, friends. So if that phone rings, all bets are off. So we better get this thing done here. So fall. Why do I like fall? It's warm and fuzzy. I'm the Clark Griswold of California here. I love to do these family things, and it's so easy to do these family things because they're like right there, right? Pumpkin patches and all this stuff. So as a follow-up, I talked about a couple weeks ago, I think. It's all a blur, friends. It's all a blur. So if I repeat what I said before, just go with it, okay? Just appease me, make me feel good, because, I'm going a little batty here. So something I learned from summer was it really helps as you get into the seasons, and the seasons are like, seasons, so it's really easy to decide when you want to plan for it. So plan ahead, and that's what I've been doing over the last couple days, weeks, but I'm actually buying tickets and ordering stuff now. Just putting on the calendar, which days do I want to take off? What things do I want to do? So we just committed to a couple things, and we've got a couple more on the old docket, but right now we're looking at apple picking. There's a cool place. I think I've shared this with you before. They're a cool place. It's a great day. It's not very expensive, and it's fun. And if you follow me on Facebook, you can rest assured I'm going to be seeking your validation to have you liking pictures of me and my kids picking apples in Oak Glen. So a great time. And we have a really cool pumpkin patch down in Temecula that's a little more than your average pumpkin patch. They've got those of you out east, this is regular stuff. But we've got the old the hay ride and some fun stuff. So, friends, I'm really looking forward to this. And listen, I know most of you guys out there, or most of you listening, are dads. And this is dad stuff. I know. Listen, the emails are going to start flooding in right now, right? Mom's going, dude, what are you talking about? Moms could do this stuff too. But I'm talking, dads, take the lead on this stuff. Find something that's cool and get dirty with the kids. It's fun. I know you're busy. I'm busy too. It just helps to find time, a couple months or a couple weeks at least ahead of time, and say, hey, this day, this weekend, I'm committing to doing this. Just doing it. I know. Sometimes it'd be just easier just to clean the garage or something. Trust me. I have a lot of work to do. So I'm just throwing that out there, if that helps. And I've got 2 half marathons coming up. Those of you may know me as the running guy. I guess. I don't know. Am I the running guy? I don't know. I enjoy it. And one of the half marathons I'm doing on my own. The kids aren't coming. The other one, the kids are going to do the 5K. So I'm bringing my parents. And that's going to be cool. It's something. That one is the Mission Inn run here in Riverside. I actually grew up in Riverside. It's about half an hour from here. So it's cool stuff. A couple other things here, and then we're going to get into the old main meat and potatoes here. I have changed a few things on the website. Check it out. I've really been connecting with these devotionals. Again, I mentioned this before. Writing devotionals. So there's a tab on my website that says devotionals, or you could go to realdaddevotionals.com. Takes you to the same place. And right now I'm committing to doing it every Monday. There's some other stuff that I'm going to be doing here and there. I'm not ready to commit to my audience yet, to you guys, to say, hey, to count on this, but the devotionals you can count on every Monday. And if you'd like, I have a 7-day devotional set up directly to your email. It's totally free. You just go to go to roccodeleo.com/7-day sign up, or go anywhere on my website and a big orange window pops up, at least as of 2016. It'll change, I'm sure, but right now you could do that. So anytime in the future, the roccodeleo.com/7-day sign up will take you to some sort of a 7-day sign up that will send you devotionals right into your email inbox every morning for 7 days. It's a cool thing. Listen, friends, I'm playing with these toys and figure out how to make things automatically happen. And I spent some time alone writing these devotionals, and I wanted to get them out to you. Some people don't I'm not a blog reader. I write a blog, but I'm not a blog reader. So something that comes to my email is going to get my attention more. So again, friends, you may see some of this content on my blog, but whatever works for you, please. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Maybe I will in the future. I'm just going to disclose that. But I want to get this to you if it's something you want. And I'm trying, as I had mentioned before, to really write in the style of Oswald Chambers. I'm not even close to his greatness, but there we go. There we have it right there. I'll move on. And something else, one other thing, I know we're entering into the political season. I'm just going to touch this really quickly here. I've been a Fox News guy. I've been a registered Republican. If you know me, it's like, well, I'm not crazy political. I used to be much more. But let me tell you, I'm getting kind of burnt out on that. So I signed up for, I guess I kind of lean more libertarian. I don't know. This is not a political show. I don't want to get too crazy political here. But I signed up for the Blaze. I like Glenn Beck. And I like how they, listen, I thought I was going to go there and they were going to be like Donald Trump. I don't think they're Hillary Clinton. But I'm listening, they're pretty darn, Fox News didn't seem very balanced because it was all Donald Trump. Again, I don't want to get political here, but I just want to say I was getting tired of hearing the same stuff. You go to CNN, it's Hillary Clinton all day long. You go to Fox, it's Donald Trump all day long. I'm like, hey, let's hear some other facts. Let's hear some other stuff going on. So I signed up for the Blaze. It's $10 a month, and it may not be your thing, but it's really cool. And Glenn Beck is kind of a nerd. He's really like intellectual, and it's not all politics. He talks a lot about history, and I love history. So you don't even have to like his politics to get something out of that. He does a podcast, but I enjoy the I have it on my Roku box right here in my office. If you can't see it, but it's up over there. So if you're watching the video at roccodeleo.com/69, you can see I'm pointing over the screen because that's where the TV's at. So friends, I really want to answer this question here because sometimes I feel a lot of warm and fuzzies. I'm not going to lie. I when I walked into Cornerstone Community Church, which is a church I attend now, I really was. It took me about. I was like, wow, and it's like, oh, everything just lit up and it was just warm and fuzzy. And I started getting in the Word after going there a couple of months and reading in the Word every day. And praying and just having that quiet time every day. Recently, I feel like I'm missing something. I really have felt like I've been missing something, like there's a disconnect. And I question, like, what's going on? And I started digging deeper in writing these devotionals that I share at realdaddevotionals.com. Those are directly from my journal. I read, instead of trying to read a chapter or two or half a book every morning when I get up, now I'm reading maybe a chapter, and I'm writing about it in my journal. And it's really helping me connect with the text more. But I'm not going to lie, I still am struggling because I feel like I'm connecting with the text. But that's not the point of it. I want to connect with Jesus more. So I just felt like just so challenged, like what's going on here? And I had an amazing conversation with Matt Cochran the other day about this too. So, and I appreciate, Matt, I know you're listening, Matt, I appreciate the conversation we had, because I was thinking about it and he called me and he was thinking about it at the same time. I was like, whoa, weird. That was just like a bro God moment there. So I want you to know that you're not alone in this, friends, as you're listening to this, that this happens. And clearly I don't believe that God has abandoned me at all. Let me read from this article, a little bit from this article. I'm going to put a link to the entire text, this article about Mother Teresa. Do you know who Mother Teresa is? Okay. Does anyone want to argue that this was a woman of God? Of course she was. She was a very faithful woman of God, and she dedicated her life to God. And I knew just sort of in the back of my mind that she had always had this sort of quasi, or whatever it's called, a dark night of the soul, to where she felt disconnected from God. And I've read some different articles that say she's felt disconnected from God for half of her life. Holy smokes. I mean, she's since passed on, and the Catholic Church just canonized her as a saint. And that's great. That's awesome. So she writes this. And again, I'll put the entire article, a link to the article in the show notes that you can find at roccodelio.com/69. The Doubts of a Saint, Mother Teresa, Unfelt Faith. And forgive me, I forgot to write where this is from. Sisters of Saint Benedict, Saint Mary Monastery. Forgive me again, I'm sorry about that. But let's see here. Where is my faith? She wrote this. Where is my faith? Even deep down, right in, there is nothing but emptiness and darkness. My God, how painful is this unknown pain. It pains without ceasing. I have no faith. I dare not utter the words and thoughts that crowd in my heart and make me suffer untold agony. So many unanswered questions live within me. I am afraid to uncover them because of the blasphemy. If there is a God, please forgive me. If there is a God, this is Mother Teresa talking. You want to talk about doubt and emptiness and feeling abandoned? If there is a God. Can you imagine if your pastor said that? Wow. People would just run from the church. But friends, this is authentic. This is real. This is real Christianity. I don't want you to think, oh, I'm starting to feel, I don't have the warm and fuzzies. I'm starting to feel distant from God, or this isn't fun anymore. Yeah, I'll move on to the next thing. That was great. It was a great flavor. I had a friend die, or I'm going through trouble, but things are getting better. I don't need this anymore. Mother Teresa didn't give up. She kept ministering to the men of Calcutta and kept loving Jesus, even though it felt like he didn't love her back, but she knew it. She knew it. She knew that she was loved. I want to read you something from Oswald Chambers. And this I'm going to read the entirety because it's not very long. It's from my friends again. If you're looking for a devotional, sign up to the Roccodelio, roccodelio.com/7-day sign up, and you can sign up for my devotional, and then I'll send you little updates or whatever. But My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. Seriously, and all kidding aside, get this book. It's $8 on Amazon. After God's silence, what? This is from the October 11th devotional. When he had heard, therefore, he was sick. He abode 2 days, still in the same place where he was. John 11:6. Has God trusted you with a silence? A silence that is big, with meaning. God's silences are his answers. Think of those days of absolute silence in the home at Bethany. Is there anything analogous to those days in your life? Can God trust you like that? Or are you still asking for a visible answer? God will give you the blessing you ask if you will not go any further without them. But his silence is the sign that he is bringing you into his marvelous understanding of himself. Are you mourning before God because you have not had an audible response? You will find that God has trusted you in the most intimate way possible, with an absolute silence. not of despair, but of pleasure, because he saw that you could stand a bigger revelation. If God has given you a silence, praise him. He's bringing you into the greater run of his purposes. The manifestation of the answer in time is the matter of God's sovereignty. Time is nothing to God. For a while you said, I asked God to give me bread, and he gave me a stone. He did not. And today you find he gave you the bread of life. A wonderful thing about God's silence is that the contagion in his stillness gets into you, and you become perfectly confident. Read that again. A wonderful thing about God's silence is that the contagion of his stillness gets into you, and you become perfectly confident. I know God has heard me. His silence is proof that he has. As long as you have the idea that God will bless you in answer to prayer, he will do it. But he will never give you the grace of silence. If Jesus Christ is bringing you into the understanding that prayer is for the glorifying of his Father, he will give you the first sign of his intimacy. Silence. What do you think? So I want to read a little bit before we hop on out of here. I want to read a little bit from a blog post I wrote that I published, sometime in September. And I'll put a link in the show notes to this. And you can get the whole text here. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you right now, but it was really about this. It was really me trying to, in written form, explain this whole silence I had. Because, I remember being a new Christian, walking into that church, and it was like warm and fuzzies all day long. And then, the question comes up. It's like, is God done with me? Luckily, I asked this kind of rhetorically, but I know there are a lot of people that ask this like legitimately, like literally, like, is God done with me? We see from the early church, right from the beginning, Paul writes in, where is this? I believe this is in Corinthians. I'm showing 1 Corinthians here. He talks about being fed by milk and not solid food, and he wasn't referring to the milk cart coming around. So he knew that there are different levels of faith and different levels. Early Christians doesn't mean they're better or worse or whatever. It just means they need something different. And when I was new in the church, I needed something different. And you needed something different. But friends, if you're starting to feel some silence, I don't know if you can feel silence, but if you sense silence, you sense some distance from God, it's a good thing. Did you hear what Oswald Chambers said? It's a good thing because it means God knows you can handle it. And he's speaking loudly in that silence. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus. So that's Hebrews, I guess that's 1 there. So we need to keep on keeping on and focusing on Jesus. Forget how it feels, right? I mean, it's easier said than done. Listen, I get it. But if we have our marching orders, we know what to expect. We know, okay, over the next year, we're going to have ups and downs, like those warm and fuzzies. But here's what you do. You keep on going because you know God is there. And listen, buddy, you're about ready to start on a year-long journey. And it's going to feel like God's ignoring you. At least now you know. It's like, okay, I knew what to expect now. Fix your eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, that you will not grow weary and lose heart. So again, thinking about Jesus and thinking about what Jesus did on the cross. Because what I don't want, and it's not about me, but what God doesn't want you to, don't lose heart. God's done with me. What do you think Jesus did? First, what do you think Jesus did when First thing, two things I want to ask you. What did Jesus do on the cross when he looked at those people, when he thought about the people who were murdering him, who were lying and humiliating him? Did he say, screw you guys, to hell with you? He said, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Here we have the Son of God showing us how it's done. Listen, friends, he's telling us to forget the struggle. Listen, #struggle is real, right? Focusing on Jesus. I'm not going to tell you, just forget about it. It's not that easy. I'm going through a lot of junk. I can't just, it's okay. But when things seem just so out of control, it's just too much. I know I go back to God. I go back to Jesus. And I see what he did. He forgave them. But even for a moment, Jesus shows us his humanity. Because he felt abandoned. Just for a moment. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? There's a lot of different people that think about what that really means. What does that really mean? Why did Jesus say that? But I think he wanted to tell us, listen, you're going to feel abandoned. Jesus didn't actually think that God was, that God the Father was like, Jesus, this didn't go well. He knew what was going on. He was doing this for us. Today, as a growing and not so new Christian anymore, I have more of an active choice to make in my reactions. I must choose whether or not to recognize God's presence through the struggle. God has not abandoned me. In fact, he sees me as more able to handle the struggles without that added warm and fuzzy. The training wheels are off, my friends. I could cry out WTF, or I could do what he says, is consider Jesus. Consider Jesus on the cross, what he went through. And sometimes I need to go back to that. Maybe I just need to read that. And that was from, where was that? It's in the gospel, towards the end. What a great thing we have. What a great thing we have to be able to go to our God in heaven in all the struggle, all the pain, all the BS we've got to put up with. No matter what's happening, we know what to do. Consider God. Consider what he did, and do everything we can to find some consolation in that. And if that doesn't help, we can look to, if you're looking at the video here, there's Mother Teresa. There's other examples, friends. Tell me. Well, you know what? Tell me. You can comment in the show notes on the website, or you can email me, whatever you want to do. You can text me if you know my number. I want to know people. I'd love to hear some stories of people in your community who personify, that's not the right word, who are like this, because I can't think of another word. I didn't write it in my notes, and I become a moron when it's not in my notes. But listen, friends, I'd love to hear some stories of people that are like this, that people that are not getting warm and fuzzies, but just keep on going. So I'm going to leave it at that, friends. I love you, friends. And I appreciate you listening to my show. If you like what I have to say, send me a message. I certainly would like to connect with you. Share this out on Facebook. That's a great way. Some people say put a thing on iTunes. That works great too. I think more people will find me if you share it on Facebook. So if you're going to do one thing for me, share it on Facebook. So rockodilio.com/69. All the show notes, all the links, all the stuff I asked you to do on the show will be in there. Friends, have a great week. We'll be back soon. Bye-bye.